As a proud Democrat, but I will govern as an American president. No red states, no blue states, just the United States.
That's Joe Biden's pitch, that he's an empathetic human being.
We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay.
Who feels people's pain.
6 months have seen one of the gravest losses of American life in history.
COVID-19 has kept him distanced, literally. So his staff instead find people for him to call. Mohammed Kazaz, who owns a coffee business in Detroit, had a severe case of the virus. Biden called when he was isolated in his room, unable to see his toddler daughter.
At that time, she would knock on the door, "Baba, open, open," and she starts crying. I told him that. And, he's like, what I used to do when I had aneurysm surgery that he had to do. He used to play with his kids through the window and play together. So I started thinking that, like, maybe I should start playing with my kids while they're outside.
Biden's own father was a profound influence. When he lost his job, he moved the family from Scranton, Pennsylvania to Wilmington, Delaware. The Bidens were a working-class Irish Catholic family. School days were hard because as a boy, Biden had a stutter.
And it's mortifying. It allows that child to become an object of ridicule.
He overcame the impediment, became a lawyer, and at 29 was elected to the Senate. Then tragedy struck. Just a few months later, his wife and baby daughter were killed in a car accident. Their two sons, Bo and Hunter, were badly injured. This year, he recalled that day while meeting firefighters.
My one boy was in the back seat on top of his dead sister, and my other boy was on top of his dead mother. For 3.5, you guys saved their lives.
Biden spent the next few years commuting to the Senate by train so he could be home before his sons went to bed. Everyone got to know him. The stories of Amtrak Joe talking to everyone on the train from Wilmington to Washington is part of his appeal. But that was 40 years ago, and does he still have the energy? And the other question, is empathy, born of personal tragedy, really the best qualification to be president? In the Senate, he earned a reputation for reaching across the aisle and becoming good friends with Republicans.
In some ways, Joe Biden is hobbled by his own experience. He made his life in a Congress that functioned, in which you could make compromises, you could find common ground. And a lot of people worry that that Congress is over, that period of American politics is over, and he might find himself, in a sense, naive in the face of this level of opposition.
During the Clinton administration, Biden worked with Republicans to pass the crime bill.
Hopefully, we will end the discussion about whether or not Republicans are Neanderthal and only want to hang them high, and Democrats are wacko liberals and only want to look at the causes. Those days are gone.
So you've got all your mementos in here. He now supports Black Lives Matter, but even friends condemn a law that was meant to address the crack cocaine epidemic, but ended up incarcerating millions of Black Americans.
Folk know that he led that effort, but I don't think they heard his statement that I went too far. People need to hear that again. The folk who are concerned about that crime bill saw their dads, their sons, their grandsons, and Black women go to prison. It's an unfair, unjust system.
2 previous runs for president ended in failure. Biden dropped out in 1987 after plagiarizing a speech by Neil Kinnock.
But I'm a big boy. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
He might have drifted into obscurity until Barack Obama picked him as vice president in 2008.
Let me say it as simply as I can. Yes, I accept your nomination to run and serve with Barack Obama, the next president of the United States of America.
Vice President Biden worked with international leaders. He believes in the alliances Donald Trump has disparaged. Follow my leader. It was a partnership that worked. whether trying to inspire kids to exercise or passing the Affordable Care Act, which reformed healthcare in America.
Man, you're hard to keep up with.
The best vice president America's ever had, Mr. Joe Biden.
Tears of pride and joy on receiving the Presidential Medal of Freedom, but tears of despair when his son, Beau, the Attorney General of Delaware, died of brain cancer.
The pain was such where it even hurt him to talk about it. But his faith and his family and friends got him through this ordeal.
His surviving son, Hunter, has brought embarrassment by apparently trading on the Biden name in foreign business dealings that President Trump has characterized as corrupt. As the 2020 presidential campaign started, Biden, married to Jill since 1977, was criticized for previously touching women in a way now described as inappropriate, which he's acknowledged.
But I will be more mindful and respectful of people's personal space.
At 77, he's a transitional candidate to a younger generation of Democrats, many of whom are to his political left.
Joe Biden faces an obvious risk, which is that he may not actually understand where the bleeding edge of ideas are in America. He doesn't come from as diverse a country as it is now. He grew up at a time when 9 out of 10 Americans in his generation were white. We're now a country of tremendous diversity, and the question is he able to meet that moment? Does he see it, and can he surround himself with the kinds of people that help him understand it?
If Americans elect Joe Biden, it'll be for the humanity and stability they hope he'll bring. But they may find they've chosen a president whose ideal of compromise is no longer possible in an America polarized by ideology and race.